Hello, we shall be discussing on digestion and absorption. Food is the basic requirement of all the living organisms, and the major component of foods includes carbohydrates, fats and proteins. And these components of foods are in the complex form and cannot be directly utilized by the body. Hence, these complex components of food have to be converted into simpler form. So the process of conversions or breaking down of these complex food components into its simpler and absorbable form is called as digestion. Now this digestion is carried out in the digestive system consisting of alimentary canals and the associated glands. Now let's discuss on what is alimentary canal. The alimentary canal begins with the mouth and it ends through the anus. So this is the mouth and this is the anus. So from mouth till all this portion till it reach to the anus, it consists of the alimentary canals. Now the mouth, it leads to the buccal cavity. So this is the buccal cavity, the opening, and this buccal cavity consists of teeth and a muscular tongue. Now each of the teeth here, this is the teeth. Each of the teeth is embedded in the socket of jaw. We have upper and lower jaw. So this is a jaw, and each of the teeth is embedded into the socket of the jaw. So these are the socket of the jaw. Now this type of attachment of the tooth to the jaw bone is called as thecodon. Now this is called as the thecodont. And then in case of human beings, two sets of teeth arise during the lifetime. The first set of teeth, it arises during the childhood stage. So this first set of teeth is called as the milk or the deciduous teeth, and after the child reach its adult stage, these milk teeth or the deciduous teeth are replaced by the permanent or the adult teeth. So there are two sets of teeth that arise in the entire life of the human. So this type of dentition, having two sets of teeth during a lifetime, is called as diphyodont. Di means two, so two sets of teeth. In case of adult, there are 32 teeth, and these 32 teeth are divided into four types. Now if we look at the diagram of the teeth, this is the one side of the jaw, this is the other side of the jaw. Now the first two teeth, the front teeth, is called as the incisors, and the sharp teeth, this is called as the canine, and this canine is used for tearing and biting the food. The third is the premolar, and this premolar is just behind the canine, consists of two teeth. So these two teeth just behind this canine is called as the premolar, and the rest, that is the 1, 2, 3, the next remaining three teeth is called as the molar. So this side also the same, this side and this side have the same type of arrangement. So this is one set of jaw. Let's take this jaw as the lower jaw. So in the upper jaw also, the set of arrangement of teeth will be same. So by looking at this diagram, there are two incisors, one canine, two premolar and three molar. So two incisor, one canine, two premolar and three molar. Now let's say this is one side of the jaw, this is the other side of the jaw. Let's take this as the upper jaw, and let's take this as the lower jaw. So if we add this, it is coming to 2, 4, 5, 8. 8 teeth in one side, 8 teeth in other side of the jaw. So in each jaw, that is in the upper jaw, it is consisting of 16 teeth. same as the lower jaw, 16. So 16 upper, 16 lower teeth means 32 teeth. So instead of this, the dental formula is written in this form. This is the one side of the jaw. This is the one side of the jaw into 2. That means 1 2. It gives rise to 32 teeth. So this is the dental formula of teeth. Now this form of occurrence of different type of teeth, that is incisor, canine, premolar and molar. So this this form of arrangement of different type of teeth is called as the heterodont dentition, and we know that the outer layer of the teeth is covered with the hard substance, and this hard substance is called as the enamel. So this is all about the teeth. The second is the tongue. The tongue is after this teeth, the tongue is composed of many projection called as the papillae. So on the surface of the tongue we have many projection called as the papillae, and this papillae consists of a taste buds. So it is through this papillae we can identify different type of tastes in the food. Now the oral cavity. This cavity leads into a pharynx. So this is the pharynx that serve as the common pathway for both food and ear. So this pharynx is the common opening which is served as the entrance and exit, which serve as the entrance for both the food and the ear. Now both the esophagus and the trachea is just found behind this esophagus. So both the esophagus and the trachea first opened into the pharynx. So trachea is also called as the windpipe. So the trachea is being covered with a cartilaginous flap called as the epiglottis that prevent the food from entering into it during swallowing. So there is a flap which prevent the food from entering into the trachea, and this flap help in allowing the movement of food into the esophagus only. So the esophagus is a tube-like structure that carries the food and opens into a J-shaped structure called as the stomach. So the openings of this esophagus into the stomach is being controlled by a muscular sphincter called as the gastroesophageal. Now the stomach is divided into 4 portions. So this is the stomach. The first portion is called as the cardiac, the second is called as the fundus, the third is the body, and the fourth is the pyloric. So the first one is the cardiac. Cardiac is the first portion of the stomach where the esophagus first open into it. So cardiac is the portion where the esophagus first enter into the stomach. The second is the fundus, and the third is the body. This body form the main and the central region of the stomach, and the fourth is the pyloric. This pyloric is the portion of the stomach that opens into the small intestine. That means from the stomach the food or the remaining digested portion of the food first enters into the small intestine. Now this is the pyloric region of the stomach, and from this the food or the digested portion of the food will enters into the small intestine, and this are the small intestine starting from here. So the small intestine is further divided into 3 parts again. The first one is called as the duodenum. So this is the duodenum. The second is the jejunum. This portion is the jejunum, and the third is the ileum. This portion is the ileum. The duodenum portion of the small intestine this is the region of the small intestine where complete digestion of food takes place, and the remaining portion will be sent to the jejunum, the second region of the small intestine, where maximum absorption and the remaining undigested food are digested, and the digested food they will be sent into the ileum, and maximum absorption of food takes place in the ileum part of the small intestine. So in the ileum part of the small intestine there are small finger-like projection called as the villi. So through this villi, maximum absorption takes place, and it is this villi that also help to increase the surface area of absorption. Now the ileum opens into the large intestine. So the small intestine opens into the large intestine, and the large intestine, this is the ileum, and this ileum will open into this here, the large intestine, from this region. Now the large intestine is further divided into three parts again. The first one is this portion is called as the cecum, the second is the colon, and the third is the rectum. In cecum, part of the large intestine, there is a symbiotic association found with certain type of bacteria. Now from this cecum, a finger-like projection called as the vermiform appendix also arises. So this vermiform appendix is a vestigial organ. When we say vestigial organ, we are referring to the organ which are present in the body but their function is not known. That means they are not functional. That means non-functional organs. So this vermiform appendix arises from the cecum, and the second from this cecum is present there. From this cecum is the next region that is called as the colon. The colon is further divided into ascending colon, the transverse colon, and the descending colon and sigmoid colon. And from this descending colon, it opens into the rectum. So this is all about the alimentary canals.